12 years ago, I bought the cheapest Mac Mini and a tutorial book on iOS development. It was one of the most important moments in my life. Today, I'm going to share my journey in iOS coding, freelancing, landing my first job, and what I've achieved in 12 years. You can decide if it's worth it for yourself. Year 2008. I started studying aircraft control systems at Moscow Aviation University. We learned about building autopilot systems for planes, including both hardware and software. We had some computer science courses, but not a lot. I learned about algorithms, data structures, databases, processor architecture, microcontroller programming, assembler, C++, and object-oriented programming. Learning about autopilot systems for planes was cool and all, but it turns out my real passion was in piloting pixels on screens. In my fourth year in the university, I decided it was time to step out of the classroom and into the cubicle. I started looking for an internship. I felt like that I need to take control of my life and make some money. Software engineering was becoming a prospective profession, but I was an absolute noob in programming, a really enthusiastic and proactive noob. I didn't know where to start or how to connect my theoretical knowledge to real work. They say, fake it till you make it. Let's just say I was faking it so hard, I could have won an Oscar for my performance. Luckily, I had a friend at university who worked at an engineering company that offered internships. I asked him if there were any openings and he helped me to get an interview. It was short, just about an hour of general questions, and I got the position. My job was to do microcontroller programming in assembler and C. Most of my work wasn't related to company's projects, but was for learning purposes. The head of engineering mentored me personally, gave me programming tasks, and even let me take home devices to study, which was really cool. The work was part-time, so I was coming to the office maybe just once a week, and the compensation was around $200 per month, which now sounds like working for free. I worked there for a year, learning a lot about electronics and programming. However, I soon realized that the job was not what I wanted to pursue, and there weren't that many job opportunities or high-paying jobs in embedded software engineering. So I started exploring other programming languages and areas. I initially wanted to pursue C++ since I had studied it in university. I bought some books, studied for a few months, and applied to about 10 companies, including Yandex. I was specifically targeting internships or junior software positions in C++. And what do you think happened? I got rejected everywhere. It was a stressful and unpleasant experience. Apparently, junior software engineer in C++ was code for, sorry, we're looking for someone with 10 years of experience who can code in binary with their eyes closed. Okay, around that time, some family friends asked if I could develop a simple iOS app for them. They didn't care about the fact that I had zero experience with iOS programming. They just wanted it done cheaply by a student. The main problem was that you need a Mac to develop iOS apps, and I realized that I can buy the cheapest Mac Mini out there and still have some money left after doing that. So I bought a Mac Mini and a book for those who want to learn iOS development called Programming for iPhone and iPad. I spent 4 months studying iOS and developing app for them. It was like trying to build a spaceship with a roll of duct tape and a how-to guide from IKEA. The funny thing is that I actually had an Android phone at that time, so I was testing my app only on simulator or my friends' devices. What I loved the most was seeing my code make things happen in real world. Being able to touch and interact with the interface was amazing. So it got me hooked on mobile development. You can see that I found what I wanted to do only on my third attempt. Then came my freelance phase. It was 2012 and app development was on a hype wave. A lot of people were trying to make their own apps and earn a fortune by doing that. I was amongst those poor people. I created and released 4 different apps to the App Store, small gallery apps or tourist guides, but without any luck. I spent months developing those apps, but earned only $100 by doing that. That barely covered $100 fee for the Apple developer account. After that unfortunate experience, I thought about freelancing as an app developer. Me and my friends were trying to find buyers for the design and development of a mobile app. We even pitched our presentation to a few companies, but without any luck. Feeling frustrated, I decided to look for a full-time job as an iOS engineer. I crafted a resume where I wrote that I have 1 year of experience working as an embedded systems developer and 1 year freelancing in iOS. Surprisingly, there were a lot of companies looking for app developers at that time, so I landed a few interviews. Initially, they didn't go well because I lacked basic knowledge of how to organize apps architecture or internal iOS APIs. But I learned from my mistakes, read answers to the questions online, and eventually found a job at a small startup called RedMad just 3 months before graduating from university. The interview had two phases. First, a home assignment to code a simple one-screen iOS app, and second, a 2-hour interview with engineers and managers from the company. It was an outsourcing firm focused on making mobile apps. Back then, the company had about 40 employees. Now it's grown a lot and become one of the biggest app developers in my home country. I started as a junior iOS engineer and was put on a project with 3 other experienced iOS engineers. Being around them taught me a ton. One really cool thing I did was schedule one-on-one meetings with our team lead. We talked about what I could learn and how I could improve my skills. It was super helpful. You should do something similar if you're new to coding. Okay, let's fast forward to today. In 12 years of iOS development, I've worked as an iOS engineer, iOS team lead, head of mobile development, landed a job at Meta, moved to London, and much more. I don't like to brag about my achievements, but I want to motivate you to start your journey in mobile development. Sometimes the best decisions in life are the ones that start with a little leap of faith and a whole lot of determination. Alright, thanks for watching and have a great day.